It takes the right skills and the right innovation to design and manage meaningful print marketing solutions. Welcome to Podcast from the Printerverse, where we explore all facets of print and marketing that create stellar communications and sales opportunities for business success. I'm your host, Deborah Corn, the Intergalactic Ambassador to the Printerverse. Thanks for tuning in. Listen long and prosper. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Podcast from the Printerverse. This is Deborah Corn, your Intergalactic Ambassador. And today we are going to be speaking about recurring revenue starts with reordering simplicity and how making it easier for customers to reorder can drive consistent sales, deepen loyalty, and bring more stability to print businesses. Joining us are Naimish Patel and Trent Foreman from OnPrintShop, a leading web-to-print solutions provider. Naimish Patel is the Vice President of Sales, and he is an SaaS and web-to-print strategist with 13 plus years of experience in B2B, corporate printing, and e-commerce. He's helped hundreds of print businesses transition to scalable, recurring revenue models through smart, simplified ordering systems. Trent Foreman, a returning player in our game, is the regional manager for North America and brings over 2 decades of experience in print technology, automation, and customer engagement. He specializes in helping printers streamline operations and tailor solutions to fit unique business needs. Together, they'll break down the friction points that slow reorders, share real-world examples of simple tweaks with big returns, and offer practical steps you can take to start building recurring revenue without overhauling your business overnight. Welcome, gentlemen.
Welcome. Oh, so glad to be back.
Hello, Naimish.
Thank you. I'm very pleased to have us in the podcast, Deborah.
My new favorite thing is to say greetings of the day, which I have learned from my friends over in India. It's my new favorite phrase. So greetings of the day to you, although it's your evening, I think. Yes?
Yep. And even in India, like when we start, we say namaste. So namaste to everyone.
Namaste. Awesome. Okay. So recurring revenue happens to be one of my favorite topics because what I know from being a print customer for many, many years is that I wasn't aware of all the things that my printers could actually do. So I would have multiple vendors and break up my campaigns by wide format is over here and direct mail postcards are over here and my catalogs are over here. And that honestly was because the printers, did never really let us know what was going on. And a capabilities list does not do the trick, especially if people don't know the equipment. So there really is money being left on the table when people aren't reordering from you what they've already printed, or they just keep coming back to you because the processes are simple, understandable, and they can do whatever they want whenever they want.
You are 100% correct. And when we talk with customers, current customers, new customers, let's just say this. We could have a whole separate podcast on how to go capture new customers and using SEO. But I mean, in general, leaving revenue on the table because they didn't come back to you. They ordered it from you and it was a one-shot option. I mean, we're finding that customers, reoccurring revenue can be like 50 to 60% of your overall monthly and yearly intake. And that's huge. And when customers talk to us and when people talk to us and they're trying to say, okay, I need some growth, especially in today's world with everything going on, margins are getting slim, I got to get new revenue. The first place you always look, and this is any business, but the first place you always look is at your current customer base, because who ordered something, whether it's a $20 order or a $2,000 order that they ordered from you, why are they not coming back and ordering that from you again in, 2 months, 6 months, 1 year? And again, if you're not going back and making it easy, and that's what we're going to talk about, simplicity. If you're not making it easy for them to click, order, you're just losing out because they probably have forgotten about you in that 6 months, just like you said, and they're going to their other shop that they're using to make the same order from you because it was easier over there to do it.
Totally. Yeah. I order shirts for Print Media Center and Girls Who Print, and I get it from the same place every time. Why? Because they've digitized my logo, because I have a portal where I can see everything I've ordered. I just have to pick whatever shirt I want and reorder it and go about my life. And if I have a problem, I can call a human and they answer me, but I don't have to. So when I remember that I need a new shirt, I just go on my booked marked link, go in there and take care of it. And I get an email that says within a certain amount of, days, you'll have your shirt.
Of course, like that's the convenience, to be honest. And there are three key factors when buyers choose a printer. So one is the price, second is the quality, and third is the experience. So price and quality, to be honest, for example, when we talk about initial years, there were very few printers who can offer that, as well as the quality, because they had some very, very unique equipments. But now in the global area, everybody can order from anywhere. And there are also some global supply chain has opened up a lot of things for even buyers. So buyers have a lot of options today compared to, I would say, like in early 2000s when there were a lot of print ordering. So now one of the key aspect which is differentiating is the experience. What experience are you able to give to your customers? If you really study the online players like Amazon, their 60% revenue is from their repeat customers. And I'm sure that is keep increasing. So you can never ignore the big piece of your business, which is your existing customers. Even the research says like it is 7 times costlier to get a new customer compared to doing a business with an existing customers. And if you just increase your repeat business by 5%, that can increase your profitability by 50%. If you're really looking at this particular word experience, then there is a whole like story behind it, like how easy we are able to make our customers to do business. Now, whether it is through an email, whether it is through a phone, or whether it is through an online system. And today, even I was reading a very interesting report on the B2B buyers from McKinsey. They're saying like B2Bs are demanding now an omni-channel sales experience. So they're not saying that, okay, only online, but then if customer wants a convenience of online, offer them an online. If they want a convenience of face-to-face, offer them a face-to-face. And they want a consolidated data. Now, what happens now if you have 3 different channels for customers offering omni-channel, but then the data are not segregated. So you also need a system which allows you to capture the orders from any channels and you offer them that convenience and experience. And as you very well mentioned, why you like going with that particular t-shirt manufacturer, because they have the data. Even tomorrow, if you email them or call them saying, I want an order, they'll still be able to put into the system, and then you'll be able to order it again through an online system.
Correct. I don't even have to be near my website. I just call them, give them my name, and they know I have everything. Naimish, everything you said, I put under the customer convenience area of, why is it so difficult to order print? It shouldn't be. I can order something online at a red light and get it later that day or the next day. Trent, you want to add something to that?
Well, that just goes right in, because the one key phrase that I think Naimish and I and our entire team will hear in any meeting that we're in is, well, my customers just like to call me and put in an order. And so going back to his comment about omni-channel, and you just proved it. If I'm sitting at a red light and you shouldn't be ordering while driving, but we all understand we do that.
I said red light.
But it's that I can call. But the comment I always come back with that is that if you make it easy for your customers to reorder, you still will talk to your customers, but you can have a better conversation with them, because now they already know that you've got the easy button and they can reorder and capture. But now we can go and have those conversations and kind of get yourself a little deeper and wider into that account. What are the other things? Well, we've made this part easy. Hey, we've got your shirts. Deborah, we got those Print Media Center shirts, whatever. Who's doing your digital marketing? Who's doing your, do you have your pop-up banner for the next show you're going to with the Print Media Center when you do your live podcast? Those are the conversations you want to have with your customers, instead of, spending your time I hate to say it like this, but hi, yes, I'd like to reorder those $20 box of business cards. Okay. And then there's a 20-minute process that goes along with that, because that gets into the whole streamlining and being a little bit more efficient, because we're all trying to, make life a little bit more efficient, because we're trying to cut costs, for one, because again, margins are getting, slimmer, slimmer and slimmer wherever we go. But it all goes back into that whole, don't ever think you don't have to talk to your customer. But in that omni-channel relationship, you want to make it easy that they can order from multiple different ways, because let's face it, the younger generation, we'll call it the younger generation, in a lot of ways, they don't want to talk to anybody.
I'm sorry, I don't want to talk to anybody.
Even in a repeat business, not just a brand new order and going fine. There's a reason, you always said the A word with Amazon, but, in our world, hey, there's a reason why Walmart has your favorites list and your easy button of a quick checkout to be able to get something in your cart. It's capturing all that, because I'd rather do that than run down the street to a different box store to grab the same thing that I could just put in my cart and drive through and pick it up, type of thing.
Right. Print Media Center provides printspiration and resources to our vast network of global print and marketing professionals. Whether you are an industry supplier, print service provider, print customer, or consultant, we have you covered by providing resources and strategies that enable business, marketing, and creative success, reporting from global events, these podcasts, Project Peacock TV, and an array of community lifting initiatives. We also work with OEMs, suppliers, industry organizations, and event producers, helping you connect and engage with our vast audience and achieve success with your sales, marketing, and conference endeavors. Visit Print Media Center and connect with the Printerverse. Links in the show notes. Print long and prosper. So, both of you have mentioned that price many times is a driving factor of, why somebody would choose to print somewhere. But I would argue that speed to market has taken place of price with certain buyers. There's different buyers out there. And when speed to market is the goal, that to me is where you lose the job. Because if I can't get an estimate as I'm ordering something. I mean, someone else posted in my LinkedIn group about what are the steps to get an estimate. And we were at like 39 at the end of the day, because if anything's wrong, it goes through the process again. So you have to, and if you're triple bidding, I mean, I'm telling you, it was crazy. So with that in mind, people don't even realize how much business they might be losing that's just driving right by them, because there isn't that ease and the ability to get all the information they need right then and there so they can push order. And once they push order, after that, obviously everything that they receive has to be what they expect. And then you have established trust. Now that I have trust with you, same thing with my shirt vendor, I just go on, push the button, and go about my life. So why do you think that printers lose repeat business? And does it go unnoticed? Or, is everybody just so focused on new business that they're not really, nurturing those customers?
Absolutely. See, according to me, when print companies are too much focused on the new customers, they overlook their existing accounts. And many of the times in the traditional processes, they are not even realizing, and they do not have that data on the hand, who is ordering what is the last time this customer ordered. Like I was speaking to one customer and he mentioned that he had some of the key accounts. And then when he just realized that, okay, they were not ordering quite often. And then when he go and ask accounts, they did not order from last 6 months. So those kind of customers might have already found a vendor who is offering them a better experience or convenience, as you very well said. Plus, we also have to understand, for example, whatever existing customers we are having, there are two ways of looking at print ordering. One is like a lot of standardized product. And as you very well mentioned, like I need to have the price estimate right away for standardized items. So like a business card, brochures, letterheads. Now, these items have become very common in the industry. You can go to multiple sites and get those estimates in matter of seconds. So why our customers have to wait for a day? Like I was speaking to one big printer They have, I would say, a state of the art facility and equipment, MIS workflow in the back end. And I said, like, you have a great system for you guys, but how it is helping your customers? Your customers still have to email you, phone you. And then he mentioned that every time when customers demand small orders, like 250 business cards, that goes to salespeople. Salespeople send it to my estimator sends to a billing. And by the time I get an order, I already spent like $250 to $350 in order. These many people are touching. So then they have stopped denying those small orders. Eventually, those customers might have gone, even those big orders could go, because as a B2B buyers, you don't want to work with multiple vendors that, okay, if I want small quantity, go here. If I want large quantity, go here. Today, and that is the reason I was also reading one interesting article where they're saying like print aggregators and print resellers are out marketing print providers. Why? Because they are becoming one-stop solution provider for B2B buyers, whether they need promo, whether they need print, whether they need white format, whether they need packaging. So as you were very well mentioned, once you have the trust in the vendor, price is a secondary factor and the convenience becomes in a higher priority. What convenience I'm getting in order? If I'm getting a better price, maybe for one specific item, but still I have to spend 1 hour, 2 hours just to get an estimate. So my 2 hours that is already spent, it's fine if somebody is charging a little bit extra, but I just on a single click able to order, they're able to deliver it, for example. I don't even mind where they're getting it from. So of course, experience and convenience is now in a priority factor when these B2B buyers are choosing. And these B2B buyers, for example, why printers are not able to understand is like many of the print companies are thinking that, okay, they are a long-term customers, so they would continue, for example, ordering rather than understanding. I'm not saying they will lose, means they will lose those customers, but are we going to those customers and asking them, like, is there anything we could change in our processes? Or are we analyzing data from these existing customers that, okay, how many orders are repetitive standardized items and how many are custom jobs? And can we make this standardized item ordering process bit simplified for them that offers them better experience and convenience? That will ultimately do two things. One, we will be able to retain them and we'll also get their loyalty. So they would not basically think of choosing another partner just because of the price. They might say, okay, price may be higher, but still I'm getting the better convenience and experience.
So adding on to that, analytics is the best word in there. Understanding what your customers are buying, what needs the convenience factor of the standard repeatable items, which is what in our platform we really want to be able to talk about, is those repeatable items to really, because that's when you're not touching it 5 times. But there's great platforms out there, like you look at Plan Profit, that is allow you to pull in all of your sales coming in from your MIS, coming in from your web to print application, and be able to look and go, okay, you said it exactly right. What are custom products that we probably need to babysit a little bit more, and we're going to talk about, versus the 100 repeatable items that we want to make it extremely easy for them, whether they're on their tablet, their phone, their desktop, their laptop. If it's 10 o'clock at night, if it's sitting at the red light, and the corporate brochure that needs to go out to the 15 locations, click, 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 ordered, because the product's already there. But so taking those analytics, and this is where AI starts to come into play, because now you have these platforms that are able to take these analytics, even if you just take your sales orders and stuff, run them through ChatGPT and say, hey, these are deemed as repeatable, these are deemed as custom. What's the mix from this customer? And then you now have the ability to go in and set up that, whether it's on your retail, your B2C, your retail site, in the My Account section of it, just an easy reorderable, or you're giving them a true B2B portal where they're going to come in and see those quick, repeatable, actionable products versus, well, did you know we also do this? Did you know we also can do this? Here's the rest of it. And not a matter of call us and talk about us, but here it actually is. Here's the actual price. Here's the turnaround time. And here's what we can do for you right now at 10 o'clock at night, because you forgot to call us during the day. And it's now, I need to get this in because it needs to be here. So it hits the convenience factor. It hits the easy factor. It hit the, the need of all of us humans of, I need it right now. And I need to know that if I order this at 10 o'clock at night, and I know there's a lot of printers out there that if I ordered it at 10 o'clock at night, that order is going to come in, it's going to hit run in, it's going to be sitting ready for a print queue the next morning that could theoretically be printed out and shipped out so I get it next day, or delivery if it's an in-town type of option.
I was at a printing event last week and they were telling me that the press will automatically turn on at night when, I mean, they leave it on, but it just runs orders. And if there's any problems, it alerts somebody so they know to come in early the next day and, fix it. Otherwise, when they get there, it's already printed out. And this is wide format stuff. So it would take a long time to print. It's really fascinating.
Welcome to the future.
I know. So everything that you're talking about, I frame under data for decisions. And that's not just decisions for the print shop to understand, where they're leaving money on their table. Why is this shift, taking an extra hour every day and this other shift doesn't? I mean, whatever you're looking at for workflow to speed things up, because, speed to market is the most important thing. But that data can also be turned around and used with customers. So instead of me getting a call after 3 months, hey, Deb, what you got going on? Which is usually what the printers do. Instead of, hey, Deb, just want to let you know that the postage is going up next month. Traditionally around this time of year, we've been talking about direct mail pieces for the fall, but you might want to consider moving that mailing up so that you don't have to pay the increased postage. But you have to have that information. It can't just be like you're driving down the street and you see a sign or something and you're like, oh, I wonder whatever happened to that client who I haven't spoken to in a very long time. And this does go back to something around the fact that printers think that they have to talk to everybody instead of just, as we've been speaking about, letting customers do what they want to do. But that is a mindset. And I have definitely learned that there are certain things that you just want to talk to your printers about. And I would have to agree. Anything with a gigantic budget, I want to talk to somebody because I'm terrified, right? I'm terrified that I'm spending this amount of money. The other thing is signage. I'm not talking about a banner. I'm talking about a sign on a building. And that's mostly because the customers don't know what they want or what they're asking for. So that is really a lot of the times why a customer would have to speak to a printer. I don't know what a varnish is, and your site keeps telling me to add it, right? So how do we get them out of that mindset, or at least, have them provide that omni-channel experience of how do I want to be, engaged with?
Okay. And that goes back to, I know I said a little bit earlier about, I hear it so much of my customers just always want to call me. I have to tell, my customers just want to talk to me. I mean, they're not going to go click and order. They just want to talk to me. But that's the mindset you talk about. And I think it goes back again to the analytics of where we're going there. But there are some products that are going to lend itself to, I need to have a conversation. But at the same time, you want to let your customers know that you have that option. I think it goes around, you give your customers a little more credit than they probably deserve because, the ones that you say, they'll never order online. They're ordering from Amazon. They're ordering their grocery pickup from, Walmart, Target, Kroger, Publix, what have you. I say Publix because, I know you're down there in Florida. So I think you've just got to give them the options. You've got to give them that omni-channel option to go. But it goes back into, do you want to talk to them about the $30 box of business card? Or do you want to talk to them about the $10,000 signage order? Which conversation would you rather have? I'm not saying you don't want to talk to them about the $30 box of business card. You need that because 100, 200, 300 of those coming through in a month adds up to revenue, but you need to make that easy. Naimish said it very well earlier. By the time you let 4 people touch that, from a sales rep to a CSR to an estimator, by the time the number of people touch that $30 box of business cards cost you $30, cost you $100 just to get it done. So getting out of that mindset of, my customers only have to talk to me. And I'll give you a perfect example. I went back and searched through all of my meetings. This is why I love AI. Search through all your meetings, and we're pulling out a couple of different examples. I had a print shop that lost a large financial institutional account because the new marketing person that came in did not know that Bob had the relationship with Ted, the printer. And She just went online and took their file and just ordered their stuff because she needed it done very, very quickly. And she only had 5 minutes. So she went online to the 4-letter word that no one wants to talk about in the print industry and ordered the V word, ordered just online, and off they went. The printer never knew that he was losing business, even in a 30, 40, 50, it's what I would call small orders, less than, $200 an order. They never knew they were losing that because they were waiting on the marketing person to call and, let them know that they needed to reorder things. And they didn't know the last time that they had ordered something. So I know that goes in a big circle to come all the way back around, but it's a matter of that. I think we probably should have renamed this to the omnichannel ordering approach to help with your reoccurring revenue.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. News from the Printerverse delivers topical sales and marketing insight, along with plenty of inspiration, one time a month to inboxes everywhere. Our contributors cover the industry and the future of print media and marketing, with strategy for strengthening your customer relationships, better targeting of your prospects, and practical advice for helping your business grow. Printspiration is just a click away. Subscribe to News from the Printerverse at printmediacenter.com. Print long and prosper. I want to push back on you on one thing.
Okay.
Those $30 business cards are only, let's say, worth $30 or whatever it is to the printer, but to the customer, that is something much more important to them. It could be the first business card that they've had for their business, or it could be, they've just got a promotion and they can't wait for this card. I remember the first time I got a card, I was like, I feel like a legitimate person, So if that person wants to speak to a printer about a $30 card, it's because they're freaking out. But once it is taken care of, and they get the results that they want, they feel proud of their card, then they'll go back to that printer. I always say there's a difference between loyal customers and sticky customers. Loyal customers, to me, are loyal to the representative that I'm speaking to. That's my person. If my person is at that print shop, that's where I'm printing. If my person moves print shops, more than likely, I will move with them. I'm loyal to the human. I'm sticky to a process. I am not going to move my portal, my ease of convenience of ordering, knowing I can trust the printer to just push the button at the red light because they know what color blue I like. And you still don't have to talk to people, but I do think you have to establish trust with some buyers out there. And sometimes I'm just like, those business cards examples, I get it from a business perspective from the print shop, but I don't want anyone to lose sight of how valuable that card could be to the recipient. So when it comes to knowing how much money is being left on the table, how do print businesses audit their reordering experience? Who's doing it? How often they're doing it? And who should be involved in that process?
So basically, like as we discussed, it starts from your existing customers, even the existing customers who are also open to share, to discuss, to even share the feedback. So we can typically take like our top 20% accounts, which generates 80% revenue, you can say. Now that could be in whatever numbers that print companies are having. But I would say top 20% can be taken as an audit reordering experience. So there are two ways of looking at it. One, how much time our customers have to take in order to communicate their needs, to get an artwork, to get a billing, and they get their order at the doorstep. What is the current process and where do we see leakage? And second, once that order hit in our print shop or in our production floor, how much time are we taking? So there are two ways of looking at or auditing the data. Once, how much time the actual order process taken by the customer and how much time it is taken internally. And then we are able to realize that is that time taken from the customers or our internal team, whether it is worth it or not. And wherever we see there are some improvements needed in order to reduce that particular experience, That's where we see that, okay, how we can even improve the reorder experience. At the same time, the questionnaire or maybe whatever questions you have internally should be also open to your existing customers, because some of the time what we imagine as a problem in our business may not be a problem for the customers, or we feel that we are improving this reordering experience, but that customer is not expecting to improve that particular aspect. He might want to improve something else. So we also want to understand from our key accounts who is in direct contact with us that how we can improve our reorder experience. For example, for the repeat business, I have like three questions. Even like as an OnPrintShop, we also want to get the repeat sales from our customers. So I have three simple questions which I ask to my customers. How can I earn more business from you? What can we do to earn more business from you? Second, do you have anyone, for example, who might be needing our services that you may want to refer? But if I ask them, like, for example, this kind of simple questions, they will give you a lot of feedbacks, not only in terms of what they need, but some of the challenges which they are facing. So absolutely, it is auditing the reorder experience should start with our existing customers. And that particular experience we can replicate for new customers and a lot of other accounts which are also already doing business with us.
Okay, to add on to that, to the listeners of the Printerverse, how many of you have done an audit with your larger customers? How many of you have set a meeting, gone in and sat down to say, hey, we just love to, one, thank you for your business, but two, here's what you typically order. We can do so much more, but what would make right now, Deborah calls and needs to have this. Is there anything we can do to help you make that easier for you or for Deborah in being able to work with us? Call me when you need anything, but are there ways we can make life easier for you? I'd pose that question of how many of you have actually gone out and sat down and talked to your top 10 customers like that.
Yeah. Also, something that I always suggest is to ask customers, what are the results that we generate for you? Because that could be something that you're not aware of. Most printers think, well, we've got great pricing, great quality, and great service. But you might find out from the customers that the thing that they value most is that they can just reorder whenever they want and go about their lives, or, anything like that falls under customer convenience, which goes to the processes and not the print that you're producing. And it's actually the reason why I think the printing industry is still looked at as an antiquated industry is because of the processes, not because of what we're producing. I mean, these are it's state of the art printing equipment and finishing equipment being run by an Excel sheet. And I mean, it's scary sometimes, when you find out that, and I say it's scary because I don't see how there's a future for that in the world that we live in now. And the market, the world is telling everybody, that these systems exist. AI is coming into everybody's life. You'll just be able to speak something and your devices will take care of it for you. So what do you think are the trends that are really putting pressure on printers to rethink their customer experience, especially when it comes to reorders?
I guess we're bringing it all back full circle. It's the simplicity, the frictionless, the need for speed. The customers want what they want, and they want it when they want it, and they want it without any type of friction. So it's going back to that omni-channel approach. And it's all about the need for speed. I mean, we saw it in the 2020s in the pandemic era, the need for an online, quick, easy, I can't walk into someplace anymore. I just want to be able to grab it and go with it. But Amazon, DoorDash, Uber delivery, all of those places sped up here. It's a convenience factor now for it. And I think that's the trend that we're starting to see. It's the convenience factor of, I'm sitting in my office, I'm working through, let me put this order in, and it shows up at the front office door within what could be hours in some cases. But once I've done that, it's off my plate and I can move on to the next piece. I didn't have to go through the whole process of trying to figure out where to go, what to go, who to call, when to do, and all that. I just got it taken care of, and I've moved on to my next process. So, I mean, I think that's, the tech trend that we really talk about, it's coming into the expectation now. And I think that, let me even rewind back and say that the trend is now becoming the expectation. The expectation is now I'm going to do business with someone that offers this type of experience for me. It's no longer a trend anymore. I think it's the expectation. That's just the way it all works.
Yeah, I think expectation is a great word.
Yeah, and as very well Trent mentioned, like post-COVID, a lot of things has changed. So the one change, what we see in the marketplace trend is like buying preferences are getting changed. At the same time, we are keep hearing from last many years, there are two major pressing issues for print companies. One is a labor shortage. And second, their operating cost is going up post-COVID. Now, even if you want to reduce that, major challenges, and now third is adding up, which is like higher tariffs. Everybody's now worried about the higher traffic. So higher tariffs, labor shortage, operation cost. Now printers are already seeing those trends that operating costs going to be higher and that profit margins going to be reduced. So they will have to focus on reducing the manual processes and focus on the productivity. So yes, one option could be raising the price, but then raising the price is not always a good option for your end customer. So what we have to do, we also have to really look into our internal experience or our internal processes and how we can optimize those processes in order to increase our revenue or increase our profit. Wherever we see that all our existing customers and all our existing staff, for example, is taking a lot of time into the processes, that's where the real value, if we are able to understand that specific aspect, as we also discussed in the ordering experience, at the same time, the internal option processes. And then you really see that how we can optimize those processes will ultimately give you an edge over to the competition.
Like what you hear? Leave us a comment, click a few stars, share this episode, and please subscribe to the show. Are you interested in being a guest and sharing your information with our active and growing global audience? Podcasts are trending as a potent direct marketing and educational channel for brands and businesses who want to provide portable content for customers and consumers. Visit printmediacenter.com, click on podcasts, and request a partner package today. Share long and prosper. I think that there is a very good possibility. Again, there's all different kind of buyers. We're primarily talking about B2B buyers here, but even B2B buyers, some of them could also be ordering the office furniture and the business cards and the print for the agent, for the company that they work with. So you don't know who those people are. And if they're calling you about anything and they're a new customer, talk to them on the phone. After they get their order, check in with them and then let them know, by the way, we've set up a portal for you. So anytime you need to reorder this, just stick it in there and you can do that. And more than likely, you're going to get customers going, oh my God, I had no idea I could do that. What else can we do together? The other thing I just want to say before I flip it back to you is that, and this is going to be a little crazy to people, but I really don't understand why printers who offer a seamless customer experience aren't charging more for that experience. And let me explain what I mean by that. If I go to the airport and I don't want to wait online, I pay some money and I get a TSA thing and I can go faster, right? I wait on a shorter line. I have a different customer experience than people taking off their shoes and belts and all of that. If I want to watch a streaming channel without commercials, I pay a little more for that convenience of not having to fast forward every 20 minutes. I know that those are not printing examples, but they're life examples. And I don't know why the printing industry is just so antiquated in the way it thinks about this, So let me toss it back to you and then we'll wrap up the podcast.
I haven't thought about it like that. But now you're talking about how the trend has become the expectation. The expectation is if you want to board your flight faster, you're paying for up. I mean, there's a rabbit hole conversation on when you put a B2B portal, do you charge your customer a monthly fee for the process of having that B2B portal, or is it a convenience factor of getting sticky into the account? So, I mean, I just think I found our topic for our next podcast is, hey, do you go that way?
Well, I think you do. I'm just saying, I think the printing industry, as soon as we became variable data and everyone said, now it's less money. I was like, what are you doing? You have just added so much value and then lowered the price instead of keeping the price the same and giving people more,
the value.
or just saying, actually, this is going to cost you about $100 more.
Here's my shameless plug. OnPrintShop, we make it extremely easy because we can inject orders directly into the workflow in the same way that a customer would do it. We just do it from the admin panel. And we have what I love to call the Smart Aleck button, to where you could get a phone call and you could click the add new order and you could find your customer, go to their product, put the product in. We give you two options: complete the order, check it out, and the customer gets the notification just like they did it. Or you now get a little bit of that, the Smart Aleck button. You click a share link and it gives you the link to that configuration that you just put in, everything that's there. And you're talking, saying, hey, I've already got this laid out for you. I'm going to shoot you a quick link. You're going to click the link. The product's already laid out. Just put it in your cart and go ahead and check out. So that's a little bit of the white glove service, but it doesn't take you the full, from the printer's perspective, it's not the full burden of you had to go through the estimator and everything like that. But I could quickly, hey, I've got that product listed. I'm going to text or email you this quick link for you to be able to then just put it in your cart and go ahead and check out. I've already set it up and everything. Works real well. I love it in my university settings because they all know someone from administration is going to they're not going to go to the portal. They're going to call and say, hey, Deborah, this is Vice Chancellor of whoever. I need you to put this order in for me. Well, I got it all set up. I'm going to shoot you a link over. Just go ahead and put it in your cart and check out. So you can still create that because, you still get that white glove approach and you could play it in that way. Okay, you just kind of threw me for a loop on that. I love that conversation. I love that topic of if you want a better experience, in a lot of cases, Disney World they did away with lightning. Now you want to get to the front of the line, you're paying. So that's
the way the world works.
I think that's our next podcast topic.
Yeah, I mean, everything.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more because the same thing is happening in this part of the world as well. So people are seeing like what value this particular service is generating for them, and they're absolutely no objections, no questions to pay additional convenience fee because it is saving a huge time. So end of the day, by offering this convenience and experience, if you are saving their one person's time every day, like 2-3 hours, calling you, emailing you, asking for an updates, where is my invoice, where is my order, versus on a single click, they're able to get how many hours we are saving of that one procurement person from the corporate side. Now that procurement person could do some creative stuff rather than just on the phone asking vendors where my order is.
Yeah.
So absolutely, a corporate would never mind paying something extra for that when you're able to show that value, what you are saving for them.
Yeah, 100%. And if you just think about how people buy airline tickets, right? There's all the different classes. They come with all the different accommodations or benefits, however you want to say, and the customer decides where they want to sit. And in the same way, print customers can be that way too. If you don't need your file for 2 weeks, click here and it's this price. If you need it next week, it's this price. If you need it tomorrow, it's this price. Or you can just call it VIP pricing, where if you want to get the fast pass to the front of the line, no problem. Become a VIP member or something. I know that's a little crazy, but it's not actually. I'm telling you, in an advertising agency, I would be like, give me that. I want the fast pass. I don't care what it costs, within reason. I mean, I can't just not care what it costs. I have to not care what it costs within my 3 estimates. But what I'm saying is that speed, convenience, is something I can say to the auditors of why I chose one printer over another. So we're going to wrap this up now. And I just want to mention that everything we've spoken about and how you can get in touch with Trent and Naimish and their global team at OnPrintShop. The links will be in the show notes. Let's wrap this up with why these online web to print systems and customer convenience is the only way forward. Naimish, let's start with you.
See, basically, before like web to print was an option for printers, now it has become norm. And post-COVID era, as Trent mentioned, as well as you mentioned, it is becoming more like a standard for B2B buyers as well as B2B buyers if you want to go ahead. And whatever challenges keep hearing from the industry, the new challenges like higher tariff, one of the way to reduce that a higher cost or even increase the profitability is reducing the human touch. And one way of doing that is an online web to print. So not only the new avenues of the business, like I want to generate new sales, of course, web to print would help you, but it is also to optimize your existing ordering process, existing customers communication, internal production processes as well. Like Trent was giving an example. Now, rather than web to print, we communicate to the customer that OnPrintShop is an online order management system. It's not just an online. If somebody emails you, you still have a way to go into a system and put an order. So 10% of the activity is done by you, but system will trigger an email to the customer that your order has been taken into the system. Please go and upload your file here. Please go and submit your payment. So rest of the activity is managed by the system. So even the order entry has started from an email. Rest of the processes is done into the system. Same for the call. So what we are doing as an OnPrintShop, how we are doing differently is like every print business, according to us, is unique. They have a variety of products. Every product ordering process is different. Some of them requires custom face-to-face interaction. Some of them are very, very standardized. So we evaluate that interaction and we really go in detailed discovery with each and every customer. And I'll also put a link of our free consulting sessions. We'll give it to all our podcast listeners so they can go and book that session. And there is no commitment for purchase or anything. To be honest, we really want to understand the business. We really want to understand their existing current ordering process. And then maybe a web to print could solve their issues. We would be more than happy to share how OnPrintShop could. If not, we would be even redirected to our lot of our industry partners who are really good what they do, like what Trent mentioned, the Plan Profit, for example. A lot of MIS, a lot of CRM, a lot of workflow automation tools are there. So we are saying web to print is one of the pieces to solve this bigger puzzle. But web to print, why it is more preferred? Because it is simplifying the end customer experience. And now if you're simplifying your end customer experience, that ultimately generates a lot of revenue in the business.
Trent, let's help the right people click on that consultation list. Is there a print shop that's too small for you to help?
Oh, no. One of my favorite little customers, 1,200 square feet, one printer, pack and ship, does the mailboxes at the same time as they're doing packing, shipping. This is a perfect walk-in pricing consistency going in there. That's one end of the spectrum, all the way up to extremely large trade printers with a massive automated workflow process in the back end with, 1,000 to 2,000 orders a day coming in. That is what I have loved about being a part of this group over the last 3 years, is that it does not matter what end of the spectrum you're on, because I'm going to go back to saying the trend has now become the expectation of easy. I want it. I want the experience, and I want to create that omnichannel approach to a customer. So if you're not doing this, if you're not thinking about this, and you're still in the mindset of every customer is needs to call me to be able to have an order, you're not thinking ahead of where you're going and not looking at how you can increase your revenue with simplistic ordering for reoccurring revenue. I mean, let's start with the house and let's get it where it needs to be. Let us sit down and talk, and let's just be able to map out and look and see, okay, where are you now and where do you want to go and how do you need to get there?
Yeah. Gentlemen, thank you so much for a very interesting conversation. Most of the time when we're talking about web to print, people think that it's a consumer thing, because I go on and I can order, 1-800, give me a kid on a mug or something like that, But consumers are also business people. And what they're thinking is the same thing everyone else is thinking, is Why is it that I know where my pizza is, but I don't know what's going on with my print job? I have an app. I can order anything I want, but with this one thing, I have to go in or talk to somebody on the phone and get them on the phone. And, you mentioned the V word before, Vistaprint, but when they first came out, what they did was they said, you don't have to talk to anybody. You can order anything you want any time of the day. And you're not going to be spoken down to. We're going to educate you on our site, and we're going to give you a template to make your own art. Now, of course, there were some problems with that until they got it fixed, but now it's fixed and it's a seamless experience. And there is no reason that every print business can't operate that way. So thank you so much for helping everybody stay relevant and to unantiquate those processes. I don't know if that's a word, but now it is. Until next time, everybody, make sure you click the links in the show notes. Thank you so much for your time and your attention. Print long and prosper. Thanks for listening to Podcasts from the Printerverse. Please subscribe, click some stars, and leave us a review. Connect with us through printmediacenter.com. We'd love to hear your feedback on our shows and topics that are of interest for future broadcasts. Until next time, thanks for joining us. Print long and prosper.